Sheriff's office right away. It's an emergency.
Oh no, not another one. All right, Sam, finish sound check for me. And Millie, make sure the paper and the scripts are where they're supposed to be. On it, Doris.
All right. Joe, test mic 1 for me, would you?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
How was that? That sounds great. Judy, let's hear 2. Give me Old Lady Baldwin's first line. Try to simulate her voice, please. And Joe,
Sure.
give 5.
Sure.
Welcome, Mr. Poirot. My family's been panting in eagerness for you.
How's that?
That sounds great. Judy, go to 4. Joe, test 5 for me. Give me a line.
Testing. Mother, I've said all I'm going to. I'm getting out of here.
How was that? That sounds good. Judy, give me one of the telephone operator's lines, please.
Sure.
New York Police
Where's my
Department.
water? I need my water to take the North Pole outside in the Sahara Desert in the studio. Go check on the central heating, huh, Millie?
I'll check with the boss, Phil, but you have to realize the studio audience is coming from the snow.
Hey, Phil, can we postpone this discussion until after I finish sound check?
You
Letting
sure
the
thing.
audience in.
Sure thing, Sam. But check on the heater, huh, Millie?
Doing it now, Phil.
All right, Judy, let's try mic 4 again.
New York Police Department, have an ejector cool. How's that?
That sounds good. Phil, while you're just waiting, you want to give me a line?
You sure thing, Sam. Mutual proudly presents Agatha Christie's Poirot. That good?
Sounds great, Phil. Ladies, will you test mic 3 for me? Sing into it, please.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is, oh, what a relief it is.
Sounds beautiful, girls. All right, Frank, will you give me a knock, some footsteps, and a tiger roar?
Here's the water you requested, Mr. Chappelle.
Thank you, Margot.
And there are a few changes tonight. Here's the revised list of those who we've portraying the various roles of tonight's broadcast. And here's the new list of sponsors.
Revised list?
Yes, it seems that Ruby has laryngitis, so Susan will be taking her place.
Too bad for Ruby. Big break for Susan, though. You think she's ready for it?
That would be an understatement. She's been waiting for a break like this for months now.
All right, crew. The audience is about to come in. Sam, sound check good?
Good to go.
All right, what about you, Frank? Good. All right.
Are we ready, Doris?
Everything's ready, Mr. Eastman.
Good, let's get this show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mutual Broadcasting's Mystery Radio Hour. My name's Carl Eastman and I'm the director of this show. It's a pleasure to have you as the studio audience for the November installment of our series featuring Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. The show will begin in 2 minutes. When you see that white light behind me, turn red. But before the show begins, I must remind you that since this is a live studio recording, any noises that you make can and will be picked up by our live studio microphone. So, unless you wish to replace our sound engineer Frank Wave, please refrain from making any noises not cued to you by our lovely cue card mistress Molly. Molly, take a bow. Now let's get the stars out here. First, our talented cast of Mutual regulars, Benson Hedges, Madeline Ashworth, Laura Luther, Susan Davis, Stuart Britton, Harley Hendricks, Esther Poole, and Lucille McDonald. And of course, our famous commercial jinglers, the Hansford sisters, Hetty, Dottie, and Margie. And last but not least, our special guest playing the star of our series, Hercule Poirot, Harold Huber. It is now my pleasure to turn the mic over to the man with the mysterious golden voice, our announcer, Philip Chappelle. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, watch out for that red light and enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3.
The Mutual Broadcasting Network proudly presents Agatha Christie's Poirot. From the thrill-packed pages of Agatha Christie's unforgettable stories of corpses, clues, and crimes, Mutual and its sponsors, BP Dentistry, TPS, and Traditional Jewelers, now bring you, complete with bowler cap and braid mustache, your favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, starring Harold Huber in Murder is a Private Affair.
Hercule Poirot to see Madame Baldwin.
This way, sir. Madam expects you now. Mr. Hercule Poirot.
Ah, Mr. Poirot, come right in. My family has been panting with eagerness waiting for your arrival.
Speak for yourself, Aunt Amelia.
You see, Mr. Poirot, you'll get to know the family without my introducing you. That is my stupid nephew, Henry Baldwin.
Really, Aunt Amelia, I think this procedure of yours is not only high-handed, but insulting.
You hear that, Mr. Poirot? She thinks I'm insulting her, the one insulting me. That's Henry's wife, Alice. Henry's the only one who married a plain girl like Alice. That's why we call him stupid. One reason, at any rate.
Excuse me, madame, but I do not see the place of Hercule Poirot in what appears to be a family squabble.
Your place is where I tell you, sir. You'll get your check for this little matter.
Madame, when you sent for me, I thought you might be in difficulty. I see now that I was mistaken. Au revoir.
Just a minute, Mr. Poirot.
Madame, I have fortunately attained a place in my profession where it is fortunately not necessary for me to be insulted by impolite ladies, or to watch this same lady inflict insults, deserved or not, upon her family.
Good for you, Mr. Poirot.
Thank you, madame.
Sorry if I insulted you, Mr. Poirot, but it's partly because of annoyance, and partly force of habit. Also, I take it as one of the privileges of the old. Will you forgive me?
But of course, madame.
I brought you here to solve a murder, quietly and with no fuss.
Madame, I suppose you realize that this is a most amazing statement.
Exactly. Now, I'm not going to have this house of mine tramped on by a lot of heavy-footed policemen, with photographers taking pictures all over the place.
Madame, it is difficult to follow you. Do you mean that there has already been a murder, or that there is going to be one?
Both. My maid was killed this morning, and I am going to be killed once the murderer thinks it's safe.
Madame, this is a matter for the police.
Oh, fiddlesticks. There's no necessity for the police. The whole thing can be settled today.
How, madame?
Very simply. My maid was killed because someone of my family mistook her for me.
Mother, you don't know that for certain.
You are mad.
How can you suggest such a thing?
I may be mad, but I'm not a doddering old imbecile. Not yet.
And what leads you to make this assumption, madame?
Mr. Poirot, I may not be a detective. When an old lady in her 70s with a fortune of $6 million to be distributed upon her death to the members of a greedy and complacent family finds her maid dead, it doesn't take much.
Mother, I've stood all I'm going to. I don't know what the rest of this family is going to do, but I'm getting out of here before I say something that I will later regret.
That is my son Lawrence, who I'm sure is expecting to inherit the vast majority of my estate. Go right ahead, Lawrence. Leave. But remember, the murder of Marie is going to the electric chair.
I do not know what is going on in this house, but once again, I strongly advise you call the police.
Mr. Poirot, are you going to take this case?
I can scarcely answer that, monsieur, because as of yet, I do not possess the facts.
It's very simple. May I, Mother?
As long as I can hear you and you can tell the truth.
Well, this morning, Mother went to the pantry to prepare her coffee and found her maid Marie stabbed to death. She then immediately jumped to the insane conclusion that one of us had done it.
Mr. Poirot, it's well known that I insist on preparing my own coffee every morning. All the members of my family know it. There was no one in the house but the servants and the people you see in this room. Well, today I overslept, something I haven't done in years. And when I went down to the pantry, I found my maid Marie, who looks very much like me, the approximate same age and build.
If that is true, madame, I do not understand why you have not called the police.
Very simple, Mr. Poirot. I know someone in this room is a murderer, and I want you to find out which one it is. And then when you've discovered the murderer, he or she will commit suicide, and will simply give the story to the papers of a double suicide. That will clear everything up and... Where are you going, sir?
To call the police, madame. Your suspicion is not only vicious, it is also against the law.
Mr. Poirot, you were brought here on a confidential matter, and I don't appreciate...
Murder, madame, is never confidential.
I told you we were not to be disturbed, Jenkins.
I know, madam, but this is about Marie.
What about her? She's dead.
I know, madam, but Marie, or rather her body,
has disappeared. It is no longer lying in the pantry. Don't feed the animals, miss. It's against the rules.
Lawrence, look at that magnificent beast. Look at the way he walks up and down the cage.
They do have power in the way they walk, don't they, Olivia?
They're beautiful.
They're vaguely reminiscent of you, darling. The same feline grace.
Why, Lawrence, you improve each time I see you.
You couldn't, Olivia. You were too overwhelming the first time I met you.
When I was engaged to Henry Baldwin, you mean? By the way, how is that dear Henry and that stupid little wife of his?
Worried, Olivia. Very worried.
How did it go?
You sure it's all right to talk here?
In the Central Park Zoo, my darling. No one's around but the tigers and the children.
I don't know quite how to say. Mother blew up, of course.
I knew she would. Don't be alarmed, Lawrence. He can't get at you.
Well, I'm nervous. Mother went right to work, assembled us all in the library, and then accused one of us of trying to murder her.
Was she frightened?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, in many ways, Mother is like you. You're both strong women. Maybe that's why I love you so much.
Never mind that, Lawrence. Go on about Amelia.
She called in Hercule Poirot.
Poirot? That's right, Tiger. I don't like it either. Poirot's about the only one smart enough to see right through this.
Then you think we ought to drop it?
No. We'll just have to watch our step, Lawrence.
Morning, Judy. Morning, Betty. Morning, Vera. Would you like a donut? No, thanks, Betty. Not today. Judy, Marshall turns down a donut? What's the matter? Are you sick? Well, kind of. I've got a really bad toothache. I feel like screaming. A toothache? How painful. You'd better go to the dentist before it gets worse. I know, but going to my dentist is such a painful experience. You need to try my dentist. She has a way of making things practically pain-free. She? You mean your dentist is a woman? Yes, Valerie Preston. Here, I'll write down the number. She's my dentist, too. You need to call her right away. Gee, she must be good. I've always admired your beautiful smiles. VP Dentistry is the place where teeth are treated with dignity in royal style. VP Dentistry, practically pain-free for VP Dentistry. You'll breathe, relax, and smile.
VP Dentistry. Breathe, relax, and smile. And now back to Agatha Christie's Murder is a Private Affair.
I don't know, Poirot, but sometimes I swear police headquarters was a much quieter place when you were in New York.
Oh, come now, Inspector Stevens. Surely you're not suggesting that the city of New York had no murders before Hercule Poirot arrived?
Sure we had, but they were simple gang killings. Some torpedo put the slug on another hood, and well, there you had it.
There you have it indeed, mon ami, in an entirely new language.
Well, I understand that better than this Baldwin dame. She's a holy terror. Followed me around the house, bawling me out and calling me names. Poirot, where is that maid's body?
Alas, mon brave, that is a question that I ask myself.
Who could have taken it? You tell me the whole family was sitting in the library there with you.
That is correct.
And we checked on the servants, and none of them could have taken it.
Mon ami, there is something in this case that is out of focus. Observe, we are seeing it in a distorted light.
Well, I'm not seeing it at all. We checked every inch of the pantry for bloodstains, and not a one. Everything washed clean, which means that whoever took the corpse away also had time to clean the pantry floor. Ah, Poirot, I'd give my eye teeth if you got to look at that body.
It's not the body that bothers me as much as a feeling I have. That unless we are careful, there will be another murder.
So you believe the old lady's story that someone's out after her?
I neither believe it or disbelieve it, Stevens. There is something that we have missed. Something that is in the back of my mind. Something that would open up this whole case for us.
Now look, give me something to go on, will you, Poirot? Do you think the old lady Baldwin is in danger, don't you?
But of course she is in danger, mon ami, but from what source, I cannot yet tell. Sometimes I almost feel as if
As if what?
As if she were in danger more from herself than anyone else.
Mr. Hercule Poirot, madam.
Ah, let him come in, Jenkins.
Right this way, sir.
Bonjour, madame.
Good day to you, Mr. Poirot. I suppose you've come back to do some more snooping.
For a woman who has just stated that she was sure an attempt was made on her life, you are singularly unafraid.
What good will it do me to be afraid? Certainly I should be if I thought I had to depend on either you or the police. You've done nothing but track up the house and ask a lot of silly questions.
Then you are relying on yourself to stave off whatever threatens you, madame?
I've done it all my life, and I'm too old to change now.
May I ask, what is it you intend to do?
Yes, I'm going to change my will. Leave every cent to charity. That ought to stop the wolves from howling for my blood.
I ask myself, madame, if they were howling before today.
What do you mean? Why, of course they were. Excuse me. Hello.
Hello, Amelia.
Who is this?
Not a friend, Amelia, not a friend. Are you frightened?
Mr. Poirot. No! Why should I be?
You were right to know. Marie was killed by mistake. But perhaps that was all for the best. Now you know we mean what we say.
And who is we?
Shall we say your creditors?
You'll have to be more specific than that.
I'm afraid I can't, and I haven't much time, Amelia. You're lucky to be alive. And you won't be unless you give us $50,000.
You won't get
We'll mail you instructions as to how we want it, and when, and where.
You're wasting your time, whoever you are.
I think not, Amelia, I think not. Marie died quickly and painlessly, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be longer and suffer about it. Think it over.
There. You still think I'm fooling you, Mr. Poirot? You heard that.
No, madame. This telephone call gives one curiously to think, eh?
Maybe some good will come out of your thinking.
Madame, you are a strong-willed person. May I advise you that you either leave the city for a short time or take police protection?
Oh, nonsense. I don't scare easily. And I won't have the police tramping around this house. I thought you said you had an idea.
That is quite true, madame. But my ideas tell me that there have been evil forces unchained around this house.
Well, I told you that.
Au revoir, madame. Please, if you will not heed my advice, make sure you bolt the door.
Henry.
Yes, dear. This is especially good coffee tonight.
Thank you, darling.
I married a good cook, didn't I, Alice?
Yes, dear. You married a good cook. Henry.
Yes, dear?
Oh, nothing.
Come on, come on. There's something bothering you. I can see it in that little worry line between your eyes.
Henry, why did you marry me?
Oh, so we're back to that again, are we?
Yes, we're back to that again. I was Alice Langley, a plain little girl, and you were Henry Baldwin, nephew of the great Amelia. It was all wrong.
You mean you don't love me, Alice?
Not love you. Oh, Henry, you know I'm so mad about you, it hurts. It's just that I just can't understand why you married me.
Because I love you, darling.
But what about Olivia?
Oh, Alice, that's just part of my wild oats. Every man who's worth his salt is entitled to a few wild oats, darling.
I never should have married you, never. But Henry, you don't know what it meant to me. You don't know what you meant to me. Here I was perfectly resigned, living out the rest of my life as an old maid, and then someone beyond my wildest dreams falls in love with me.
Darling, it happens sometimes. Would you see who that is, dear?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to let anyone in. I'm so sure that every time I open that door, someone will be standing who will take you away from me.
Don't worry, darling.
Bonsoir, madame. Bonsoir, monsieur. May I intrude for a little while?
Oh, why, yes, come in.
Oh, but I see that I interfere with your dinner. That is unforgivable.
No, Mr. Poirot, we're just finishing. Care for coffee?
No, merci. I will be brief, eh? That little scene this morning at the house of Mrs. Baldwin. That was most unfortunate, n'est pas?
Well, we're quite used to my Aunt Amelia's tantrums, Mr. Poirot.
You mean that your aunt is as insulting as that always?
Only since Henry married me, Monsieur Poirot.
Madame Baldwin objected to your marriage, then?
Only enough to cut Henry out of her will altogether and have him fired from his job.
Ah, yes. Madame Baldwin is a stubborn woman.
Well, this was one time that she didn't get her way. I married Alice, not Olivia.
Pardon? Olivia?
Olivia Wilson, the actress. Surely you've heard of her.
Not until now, mademoiselle. Tell me, in the Baldwin family, there are you, Monsieur Henri, and also Madame Baldwin's son, Monsieur Lawrence, and that young lady who sat in the library so quietly and said nothing.
Oh, that's Jean, Lawrence's sister.
She's a very sweet girl, Monsieur Poirot, but she's completely terrified by Aunt Amelia.
You needn't worry about Jean, darling. She's the smartest one of us all.
And what makes you say that, Monsieur Henri?
A few years ago, Jean fell in love with a nice enough boy by the name of Harrison.
And of course, Aunt Amelia wouldn't hear of Jean marrying him.
You see, Aunt Amelia likes to choose the people the Baldwins marry.
So poor little Jean didn't marry Harrison.
She's one of the Baldwins that has her cake and eats it too. She still sneaks out and sees them on the side.
Oh, Henry, don't. You make it sound so mean and hateful.
Yes, there is so much in this case that is spiteful and evil, madame. So much that it worries me.
Tell me, Mr. Poirot, have you found Marie's body yet?
Not yet, monsieur.
Mr. Poirot, why did you really come here? Do you think that we had anything to do with what happened?
I came, madame, to see if you had a telephone.
Oh, yes, of course, right over here. Would you like to make a call?
Yes, madame. Thank you. Operator, please connect me with the New York Police Department. The number is Murray Hill 59965.
Connecting you now, sir. Can you hold?
Yes, I'll hold.
New York Police Department, how may I direct a call?
This is Hercule Poirot. May I speak to Inspector Stevens, please?
Oh, hiya, Mr. Poirot. This is Ethel. The inspector's been expecting your call. I'll connect you right away. Have a good evening, Mr. Poirot.
Thank you, Ethel, and a good evening to you as well.
Homicide Department, Stevens speaking.
Mon ami, I need you to meet me immediately at the Pennsylvania station. I have new information, and we must investigate post-haste.
What information?
Patience, Inspector, you will find out soon enough. Thank you for the use of your phone, Madame and Monsieur Baldwin.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. But I couldn't help overhear your conversation with Inspector Stevens. May I ask if it was something that we said that gave you the new lead you need to investigate?
Yes and no, monsieur. Bonsoir. Enjoy the rest of your coffee.
I'm so glad you could join me for coffee this morning, Rita. We have so much to catch up on.
Yes, we do, Helen, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut our coffee short.
Oh, no. Why?
I'm under so much pressure, I don't even have time to catch up with a dear friend right now.
Good heavens, what's the cause of this pressure?
I have to write an article for the News Gazette, motivating people to attend the charity rummage sale for the local orphanage, and I'm a terrible writer. I made a D in composition in high school, remember?
Yes, I do. I only made a C, so I can't be of much help. I hate to interrupt, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and I think what you need is a professional writer.
A professional writer?
Yes, more specifically, you need a member from the team at TPS. They helped my husband Frank write a technical letter for the Science Monthly. Yes, I've heard of them. Mildred Stevens' husband Max used TPS recently for a marketing packet, and he swears it saved his business.
Really? And you think they could proofread my article?
I don't know why not.
If you need a word refiner, proof, or a graphic designer, call the team at TPS. If you need to motivate or publicize, don't hesitate to call the team at TPS. If you struggle finding words to say all that you need to say, leaving that to chances for the burst, call the very best, the team at TPS. Call on TPS beyond words.
TPS, Beyond Words. And now let's see what Hercule Poirot uncovers next in Agatha Christie's Murder is a Private Affair.
Poirot, would you please tell me why we are on this train heading for a little town like Boonville?
Because, mon ami, as I have already pointed out, Boonville is the hometown of Mrs. Baldwin's maid, Marie.
Look, Poirot, there are just some things I won't believe. I've been a cop for over 15 years now, and I know that one of the toughest things to do is to get rid of a body. Bodies don't just disappear into thin air.
Type in, Stevens. You are now on the right track. Continue.
I am? Now, the way I figure it is this. No one in the family could have stolen the body.
Precisely, mon ami. Now you are making good use of those little gray cells.
And no one of the servants could have taken it.
My congratulations, mon brave.
And here we are on a train, which means that somebody must have not only grabbed the body and washed the pantry floor, but shipped the body off to Boneville?
No. It is here you go wrong.
Oh?
Regard, Stevens, I once told you we had the wrong view of this case. We were looking at it from the wrong angle. The center of this is a senseless, dominating old woman ruling a family and being hated by the family.
What's that got to do with Marie's body?
In a way, everything. You have just said that no one could have taken the corpse, and you are right.
But how is that possible?
Yet the body was taken away and the floor washed. There is only one possible explanation.
Sure, the body just got up and walked away.
Exactly, mon ami. But first, Marie washed the pantry floor so that we would think that the bloodstains, that had never been there in the first place, had been washed away.
What are you trying to say?
I am trying to say that I have an unsettled feeling in the pit of my stomach, that my suspicions may not be confirmed before it is too late to prevent a real murder.
Well, good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning.
I've been waiting for you for quite some time, though I rather expected you to be late after reading the morning papers.
What do you mean, Olivia?
So you really did it, darling. You know, I'm beginning to admire you more and more.
Now stop that, Olivia. You know I had nothing to do with Mother's death.
Oh, Lawrence, you can break down and tell me the truth. After all, it's strange it should happen in the way we planned it so many times. Stabbed in the bedroom, no one around.
Olivia, you're crazy, I tell you. I didn't do it.
Have it your way, Lawrence. But he doesn't seem to believe you either.
Olivia, I won't have you talking this way.
Well then, Lawrence, darling, then tell me who did do it. And don't say it was a burglar.
Olivia, I don't know, and I swear that's the truth. I don't know who did it.
And what did the police say about it?
They've been all over the house. Told the family none of us could leave town. They even had Henry and Alice over and questioned them thoroughly.
Was Poirot with them?
Yes, but he didn't say much. He just went around shaking his head and peering into corners. But why are you so interested? You... Olivia.
What, darling?
Where were you last night? You broke a date with me.
So I did.
Olivia, where were you?
Oh, Lawrence, it's silly of you to ask. You won't like it when I tell you.
Olivia, I want to know. Where were you?
All right. I had dinner with your biggest rival last night, Stuart Giles. And a very interesting dinner, too.
I don't believe you.
It's easy enough to check. Just call Stuart and ask. Lawrence, that man over there with the mustache. Quick, who is he?
What? Why that man over there?
Poirot. Of course.
Yes.
You fool, you stupid blundering fool, you let him follow you here.
Olivia, I didn't mean to.
All right, listen to me. We're going to walk out of here together. I'll turn uptown, you turn downtown. And then I don't care what happens to you, but I promise you won't be able to stay with me.
But Olivia.
Come on. Henry, darling, I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to get rid of a man.
As I remember, Olivia, that was always your trouble.
Oh, but this is different. A different kind of man. As a matter of fact, I got rid of him mainly because of you.
Well, now, that was very considerate of you. But you seem to forget that I no longer object if you bring someone along when you meet me.
I didn't bring him along, darling. He was following me. And his name was Poirot.
All right, Olivia, what do you want?
Information. Tell me how you killed Amelia.
Even if I had, I wouldn't be fool enough to tell you.
Henry, don't you ever get tired of that dual wife of yours?
That is an interesting question, Mademoiselle Olivia. But I feel that I can give the answer.
I was sure that I'd shaken you off.
That is what I wanted you to think.
But of course, that is the impression I wanted you to have.
What's the big idea, Olivia? Is this something you're trying to spring on me?
Monsieur, I assure you that this is the one time that Mademoiselle Olivia is completely innocent. She had no idea when she telephoned you that she was arranging an appointment for 3. Tell me, monsieur, why did you meet Mademoiselle?
Why should I?
Because it is most important. Because Olivia is involved in a plot. In this plot, she has 2 assistants. One of them I already know. The other I am seeking.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's the most absurd story I've ever heard.
A plot? Really, Mr. Poirot, your mind is much too melodramatic.
Of course, mademoiselle. We have had a murder and many threats. Is this not melodrama, mademoiselle?
Murder? But there were two.
I only know one. Marie is in perfect health. So now, will you tell me why you agreed to meet mademoiselle?
Because of Alice, Mr. Poirot.
Oh, Henry, darling, that's funny. Too funny.
Strangely enough, mademoiselle, that is the one reason that I will accept.
Thank you, Mr. Poirot. You know how Alice feels about our marriage. She's worried all the time because she thinks she isn't beautiful.
How right she is.
She has more charm and sweetness in her little finger than you have in your whole glamorous makeup, Olivia.
Oh, snap!
Mr. Poirot, you can see that this girl is a troublemaker. She's always been this way. When she phoned me and told me she had something interesting to tell me, I thought I'd better come and see what mischief she was cooking up now.
I see.
I wonder if you do, Mr. Poirot. I can hardly call your progress startling up to this point.
And you are right, mademoiselle, but there have been so many cooks in the mischief in this case that it is time for Hercule Poirot to take over the cooking. And I assure you, I shall cook the goose of the murderer. Stevens, get off your desk and come with me.
What? Where are we going, Poirot? What are you up to?
I've been making assignations.
What are you talking about? We have a murderer to catch.
Precisely, mon ami. A murderer who is killed for hate and love. And that is why I, Hercule Poirot, have taken to playing Cupid.
Excuse me, Poirot, if I say this is the first time I've ever seen Cupid with a mustache.
But of course, monsieur, and I assure you that I am not particularly proud of this role. In this case, I am bringing together two people whom I dislike. But come, I have set events in motion that should catch the criminal. Let us go.
All right, but I wish you would tell me what we're going to do. There are too many suspects in this case, Poirot. Anyone could have done it. And none of them has an alibi for last night.
Oh, and do not overlook Mademoiselle Olivia. She is a most dangerous woman.
Oh, look, Poirot, if you know who did it, let's arrest him and get this over with.
Ah, miracle. Taxi! Taxi!
Where are we going?
298 Crescent Drive, please.
That's where Henry Baldwin lives. Is he the one who did it?
Mon ami, I do not believe that Monsieur Baldwin is at home.
Well, will you please tell me what is going on?
Stevens, I have told you that I am not proud of what I have done, eh? But murder is a crime that calls for any action.
What do you do, Poirot?
I think, Stevens, that I have sent out an invitation for murder.
Henry? Well, what on earth brings you here? I'm so surprised I've forgotten my manners. Do come in.
Stop acting, Olivia. You know very well you sent for me.
Henry, are you out of your mind? I did nothing of the sort. I'd hardly send for you when I expect Lawrence in a very few minutes, and I don't think he'll be very pleased to find you here.
Then what's this? A gag?
It's a telephone message, obviously, saying that you are to come over here right away. Henry, I swear I didn't call you.
Olivia, if you're lying to me...
All right, twist my arm, but look at me. Henry, I didn't send that message.
All right, I believe you. But who did?
I don't know. Somebody's trying to involve us in something.
Better get out of here before Lawrence shows up.
It couldn't have been Lawrence.
I don't care who it was. I don't want
Henry,
to...
do you think Monsieur Poirot could have done it?
Why would he do a thing like that?
I don't know, unless he thinks...
Thinks what?
Thinks that I killed Amelia.
Then why would he send me a message to bring me here?
I don't know, but Henry, I'm glad, aren't you?
I'm getting out of here.
What are you afraid of, Henry?
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
Of course you are. You've always loved me, darling. You know in your heart that you would have married me in a minute if Amelia had the brains to object to our marriage instead of throwing us together.
That's not true.
Isn't it? Isn't it, Henry? Oh, darling, darling, darling.
Lawrence!
No, it's not Lawrence, Henry. It's me, Alice.
Alice. I can explain.
You don't have to explain, Henry. It's just what I always knew.
Alice!
Henry, make her put down that knife!
No, Olivia. I used this knife once before.
No, don't say it.
Yes, Henry. I killed Aunt Amelia. I always hated her. She was evil, and she hated me for marrying you. She tried in every way she could to ruin our lives. I never thought of killing her until that dreadful day when someone put the idea into my mind.
but Marie.
I did that, Alice. We wanted to frighten Amelia into giving us some money. We never thought of murder.
Funny, isn't it, that you should put the idea of murder into my head? I'm going to kill you, Olivia. You'll never have Henry. You're not going to live to see the day.
Put the knife down, Madame Alice.
Drop it.
So it was you? It was you all the time. It was you who sent me the note telling me that I would find Henry here.
Yes, Madame. I had to make you drop your mask and come out in the open. Reveal yourself. As I have said to Madame Amelia the other day, murder cannot be private.
Thank you for joining us for our special Thanksgiving broadcast of Mutual Mystery Hour with Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. We're here at Mutual Broadcasting Systems along with our sponsors BP Dentistry, TPS, and Traditional Jewelers. We'd like to wish you and yours a most memorable holiday season.
And speaking of the holiday season, Phil, husbands, it's only 26 more days till Christmas. So if you'd like to make this the most memorable holiday season for your wives, make sure you come out to Traditional Jewelers for...
If you like silver, if you like gold, Traditional Jewelers is a place to go. If you like things that sparkle and shine, Traditional Jewelers will make your day bright.
This is Philip Chappelle asking you to be sure to listen next week when Agatha Christie, America's favorite mystery writer, brings you her favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, starring Harold Huber in The Bride Wore Fright. Agatha Christie's Poirot is directed by Carl Eastman. Now please put your hands together for the rest of the show, Carl Eastman.
Thank you. Thanks to our amazing cast and crew and to our wonderful announcer. I would like to thank you for weathering the first winter storm of the season to come spend half an hour with us. And on behalf of all of us here at Mutual Mysteries, I would like to wish you a happy holiday season of Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thank you, happy holidays, and good night.